Hey guys, welcome to Energized by Kay. Let's talk hip pain. So, the most common cause for pain in our hips is actually due to what's called an anterior pelvic tilt. What that is our skeletal structure being in a constant state of anterior pelvic tilt. So, this is an anterior pelvic tilt where this would be a posterior pelvic tilt. So it might not look that dramatic. It might be slight, but what's actually happening here is we're having a shortened front and a lengthened back. And the most common cause of this is just from sitting for long periods of time. If you work on a computer or you're sitting at a desk all day, your body gets used to whatever state that you put it through. So if we're in a constant state of sitting, see how if I'm sitting here, this front is now being shortened. And since everything is connected, what's happening when I'm shortening the front is I'm lengthening the back. So we're going to do a few exercises today to correct this alignment. So we're going to use the method of inhibit, lengthen, activate, and then integrate. So the first thing that we're going to do is inhibit. So we're going to relax the muscles that are being overworked in this situation. For this, we can use either a foam roller, a tennis ball, or I also love this peanut ball. I'm going to go ahead and use a tennis ball for this exercise. So we'll start with our hip flexors that are in that state of contraction. So we're going to take this tennis ball and we're going to lay on our bellies and we're going to get this tennis ball right in that hip flexor. And we're just going to lean on it and you're just going to find like the spot that you feel it a little bit tender. Okay, right about there. And then so maybe just laying down like this, you feel pressure there. If you don't, you can come up a little bit to allow more pressure into that side to put pressure into that tennis ball. My other favorite way, we can stay up or we can put our head down and you're just going to lengthen the opposite side. So wherever the tennis ball is, it would be your other side that you lengthen. So you can do this by lifting your opposite arm. And we're just going to hold this for 30 seconds. Good. And then we'll go ahead and do the other side. I'm just going to turn around so that you can see me a little bit better. We get prepared on the other side, get it right where we want it. And then we hold for 30 seconds. Nice. And you can also do this against a wall. I'm gonna make a separate video in case you cannot come to the floor. We can also do this on the wall. Our next muscle that we're going to inhibit is going to be our side right here. You can do this with the tennis ball. Since it's a bigger muscle, I really like to do it a lot with the foam roller. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna kind of lay on our side here. and we can put our elbow down. And with the foam roller, you can kind of just go back and forth. So we'll just kind of roll this area for about 30 seconds. I'm going to put a timer on here. And so we'll roll for about 30 seconds. Good. And then we'll do the other side. For another 30 seconds. The last that we want to do is our lats. So to get our lats, I'm also going to use the foam roller. You can do this with the tennis ball, but since it's such a big muscle, I prefer to do it with the foam roller because it just gets a lot more surface area. So we're going onto the foam roller like this, and we'll come up and down right on the back, like right underneath my armpit, but a little bit more towards the back. And you can always stop anywhere that feels a little tender. You can always stop and hold there. Okay, let's do the other side. Thing we're going to do is we're going to lengthen those muscles that are in that contracted state. So we're going to lengthen out our hip flexor. We'll come to our knees and we'll bring one foot in front and we're just going to lean into that front leg to get length right here in that hip flexor. So we're going to lean here and then we're going to take that same arm, we're going to bring it up. And we'll hold this for 30 seconds. Good. And then we'll go ahead and do the other side. And then lift that same arm up, reaching nice and high. Good. And then we'll also stretch out our lats. So I'm going to use a stability ball for this, but you can also do this against a chair or a table. So we're going to make sure that our palms are facing each other. And we're going to bring our hands out to the chair or the ball. And then we're going to send our head through those arms. And we'll hold this for 30 seconds. And then the last one that we're going to do is to stretch that side band. So we'll come down and we'll take a seat. We'll send our legs in front of us. We're going to cross one leg over the other, and then the opposite elbow is going to come to that knee, and we're going to twist. And we'll hold this for 30 seconds. Good. And then we'll do the other side, cross and twist. Keep pressing this elbow into that knee. Next part of our hip recovery is going to be strengthening the muscles or activating the muscles that have been lengthened. So we're going to strengthen our glutes. For this exercise, we're going to use this loop band. You could also do this without the looped band, but it's definitely more effective with the loop band. So we're going to loop this band around our legs, and we're going to bring it right above our knees. These are called clamshells. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down to our side. We're going to bring our heels towards our tailbone, and then we're going to lift our top leg up, and we're thinking about pressing this knee down to the ground. So let's go ahead and do 10 of these. So we'll go for 10, for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I like to hold the last one and then release nice and slow. We'll take a little rest. We're going to do this 2 more times, sets of 10. Okay, we're ready to go. We're going to lift for 10, 9, 3, 2. The last one, we're going to hold it a little bit. Hold, thinking of pressing that knee down and pulling this back. And release slow. Nice. And we're ready to go again for 10. 4 more. And last one holds and release. Nice and slow. Good. We'll go right to the other side on this. Bring our heels to our tailbone and pulling up for 10. for 3, 2, last one, hold and stay. Release it slow. Nice. I'm just gonna adjust so that I have these things on the outside. And again, pull for 10. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold and release nice and slow. One more. We'll allow ourselves a little break in between. And then we should be ready to go. 10 more. And done. Nice job. Muscle group that we're going to work on is our core stabilizers. So remember that I said our anterior pelvic tilt causes our glutes to be in a lengthened state. We also want to strengthen this to help pull everything back forward. So we're going to work a bit of our core stabilizers. For this exercise, we're going to come onto our backs. And we'll just fan our palms and press our palms down into the ground. Lift one leg and then the other. So we're going to come to like this 90-degree angle, and we're just going to hold here. We're going to hold and stay. And all the while we're thinking about our belly button pushing down to the mat. So we want to avoid any arching of our back. We're really pressing and compressing any space that might be between our low back and the mat. And then let's come down. Good. We'll rest for a moment. We can take a little inhale and exhale. And then let's go ahead and come up again. One leg lifts and then the other. And so we can work on just staying here. If that was a little bit easy for you, the next progression that we can do is just practicing bringing our feet slightly away and then pulling them back in. Inhale, exhale, pulling back in. Using that breath, our breath helps. Good. Maybe we're holding, or maybe we're trying to bring our feet away and then pulling back in. Making sure there's no space between our low back and the mat. That's super important. Good. And then we can give ourselves a little hug. Let's do this 3 more times. Whichever one we're doing, we can be holding or we can be bringing our feet away. And then we're back in it. Find that 90-degree angle. And then we'll bring our feet away and exhale back in. Two more. And pull those knees into your chest. And we're ready to go again. Press into your palms. Find that 90-degree angle. Thinking of zipping up our zipper, closing the rib cage, squeezing any space that might be between our low back and the mat. Let's go away and pull in. And one more. Hold. We can pull our knees in, or you can rest at the bottom. Let's go 2 more times here. Ready to go again. One leg lifts and then the other. Press into your palms. Use that press for support. Hold and stay. Away and pull it in. Two more. Good. And then release. We can take a little breath. And last round, we're ready to go. One leg comes up and then the other. Use that breath. Inhale away. Exhale, pull it in. Now, maybe we just stay here. Maybe this is the work for us. That would be totally fine. Maybe we're working with bringing our feet away from us. And last one. Awesome job, guys. I hope this helps, and this is something that you can do almost every day to alleviate hip pain. If you liked this video, please put a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And if there's any specific muscle groups that you'd like to see or any specific equipment that you don't know how to use, please put a comment down below and let me know, and I'll make a video just for you. I do read all of the comments. So thank you again for joining me, and have a great day.